Head coach Clint Mylymok joining me right now. And coach, big weekend for you guys. 4 points, keep the winning streak rolling. What did you think of the team's performance this weekend?
I thought it was. I mean, we had the three games that week, and so playing the weekday games. When you drive up to New Jersey or Philly, are always they're always tough for the guys because you're getting off a bus and you have a team sitting there that slept in their own beds and ready to go. And I thought they handled it well. You know the weekend games, I thought they were just okay. But I mean, the kids that took care of business. I mean, we knew what was at stake and we didn't hide from it, and they knew you know what it meant to win and they get those points and what it meant for the program and for themselves. And there have been a group that's been focused all year on giving themselves tasks, and saying, here are our goals when we meet with the captains. Here's what we want to accomplish, and then there's a ton of things to look at, and they've set a list, and they're incrementally getting through all of it, just step by step, and doing a good job of staying focused. And it wasn't they weren't perfect, but I mean, Philly's fighting for the playoff lives, and they're not going to shut her down. And I thought they did a good job pushing the pace and keeping us on our toes. And as Brendan says, sometimes we do just enough to win, and that's kind of what it was. But I thought top guys were good, and we got some other scoring too from other guys, so it's kind of nice to see.
On that Friday game, was there much that you needed to say, or did the kind of leadership of the team kind of get those guys going for that second period?
Which game?
Friday. For that Friday Philly, where down 4-1 after one.
Yeah, I mean, can't go in there and yell and scream like what their systems changed. No, we didn't change anything, and we just kind of planted a seed and said, like, there's 2 periods left to play our style and see what happens. That's all you can do. And they to their credit, they came out and played our style of hockey and the way we're supposed to, structurally and also just detailed. And then lo and behold, you get a couple goals and sneak back into it. So it's just a challenge. Like, this time of year is you want to be able to, at some point in a long season, look back at some things you did. So when you get in that situation again, which you don't want to be down 4-1, you can at least say we've done this before and this is how we got to do it. And they're pretty good at self-assessing and knowing, like, a lot of times it's not me going in and saying do these things. It's me asking what do we need to do better, and then guys one at a time or 4 guys will pipe up and say these 4 things or whatever it might be. They're pretty good at knowing. It's just a matter of our jobs to keep them focused and not get behind. But I can understand a little bit because of the situation we're in. But I don't know. Like when we play other teams, I think they're surprised how hard we compete still, knowing what we have. And I think we're catching a few teams a bit off guard because they're thinking, oh, Maryland's set. They're going to play a bunch of APs and. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you just go into the playoffs without trying and set a bad precedent for that first game.
With that conversation in mind about APs and getting ready for the playoffs, has there been any discussion about what's the roster going to look like moving forward? Obviously, home weekend this weekend, you want to play all the guys that are going to be at home, but is there any kind of idea of maybe resting some guys here and there for the last 4 games?
Yeah, I think you always do, but they're competitive too. There's some goals individuals still want to accomplish for themselves through the team, and our team's aware of it as well. But we have affiliate players here right now practicing and learning what it's like to be here full time, and they'll be in the lineup at some point. But the it's not just on the bench smiling, laughing, and like if they're here, like, there's expectations on how to perform, how to practice, and earn the right to wear that jersey. And once you put it on, like, we have to play a certain way. And I think the guys that we have affiliated will do that. And there might be a few on Friday or none, and there might be a bunch. I don't know. I really don't know. We've talked about it. We're trying to piece it together, and we've gone through this in the years past when we had a chance to maybe play a few extra guys. But you still want your leadership and core guys in, and we have fans that are here watching and paying money, and we owe them a real competitive weekend.
The team, like we mentioned, won the league title. When you look at over the past 8 years that you've been here, how does this team rank up, or what is the similarities you've seen from other teams, or is this a whole unique system for these 24 guys?
Well, funny you should mention that because Dimitri Kibru was here about 2 weeks ago, I want to say, and he came in and was giving our guys crap about breaking the records that he helped set when he was a captain and our teams in there. And the one thing he mentioned was like, he's like, man, you got a bunch of guys who go with the net and stay there. He felt like that's a real difference, not just for us, but in college, like teams that have success, like they just live in front. They just know how to stay there and timing of it too. And so I guess there's one thing you could say is that we've got maybe a bit more size up front or guys that will have that grit factor, maybe like consistently. And it's not just every other game. It's like every game, certain guys play a certain style. Like our leadership is good. It's hard to compare teams in the past, but I certainly would take this team and play those teams and feel it'd be a really good matchup. And but it's always fun to look back and say, what if? But I just, there's certain things you look for as a coach and that you recall. And having Russ here as well, who's seen those teams and been on the bench with some of those teams and players, like we do comparables once in a while. I just think we're hard to play against, and that's the one thing. I think every night when teams play us, they're like, they just don't give us anything. And I think that's important moving forward for them too. In their college careers and pro careers, they've got those it factors, those intangibles that do separate them from maybe an opponent or another player when there's a battle for a loose puck or important time frame of the game. So I don't know. Like Smitty's a game changer too. Like we all know that. It's pretty simple to point to him. But we got other guys too that are low profile, very, very skilled, but the hard skill. And I think that's something we got a bit more maybe than the other teams in the past.
Speaking of the college game, we have 3 Black Bear alumni in the D1 tournament. We got 5 Black Bear alumni in the D3 Frozen Four. For you as a coach, kind of to see their development, does it kind of make you proud to be like, hey, I had a little part in this?
It's always cool to look at and have your program be recognized and also just happy for the guys that you already know, okay, guys that are playing in that tournament, what they get to go through and the experience of it all. It's such an exciting time for them and a feather in their cap. And like we always like to say, it's kind of cool for us to be a small part of their pathway to where they are today. And we hope some of the things they learned and went through as a player on and off the ice are preparing them for this moment, that they're not going to shy away from it. They're going to be a guy that when you watch, like, yeah, he's a Black Bear, he plays the right way, and he's a big part of that team.
Billet Appreciation Weekend, fan appreciation this weekend. Can you speak a little bit to the Billet program here? Has been just kind of year after year successful. How does that help in terms of when the guys come to the rink and are refreshed and ready to go?
Holly's, is the game changer for us, to be honest. And the program started by Amanda, and we talked to them. I think every year we bring this up, but without them, this program is not going to be what it is. It just won't. And it's not just that we have good billets and we have amazing billets, but the things they do and the things she does for our players, there's a lot of things I won't hear about till like the next year or the year after, or 2 years even. I'm like, I didn't know that. And they go above and beyond, whether it's coming to games, watching them play when they're in college. Like they have that support as well. And also just the ability for the players to be in a house where they're comfortable, are treated very well, and their parents are in a mindset that when I send my kid away from home, or are they taken care of, or do you have people that are just like taking money and not really looking after kids? But I mean, our guys, there's a reason, because Holly does a good job and who we select, but we have the right places where the players, you don't want a player come in the rink worried about what he's got with his billets. You want them comfortable, so they just come to the rink. Mm-hmm. And we're in a good situation where we know if we put our players in a house, they're in a good situation. They're taken care of. She matches up their personalities and what they like with our billets. And there's a lot that goes into it. It's like us with our players. You don't just pick someone because they're talented. Like, she picks the right people for the right player, and the recipe is great. But she puts a lot of time and effort into it, and we can't be more or thankful enough for what she does for our players.
1-2 matchup this weekend against Rochester. Maybe a preview of something down the line, but thinking at this weekend, what's been the message in practice? Make sure you guys can come home with 4 points.
It's the same as every week. Like, it's a big opponent. We don't like, you know, we don't like losing. No one does, but we've got goals to attain still, and finish the season the right way. And like, there's 2 points on the line. Either we get it or they get it, and we don't want them to have those 2 points. So you can say all you want and try and pre-plan or pre-plan, and then some scouts or people talk, well, okay, you can start doing all these things. I'm like, when we go on the ice, like I can't hold them back. Like, we're going to compete. I tell Cole Peters not to go out there and try, or just like be simple. Like, he's going to compete, and a lot of guys are like that. So our job is to manage the ice time, and maybe there'll be a little role reversal. But I don't know. I really don't. I think once the puck drops, it's all business, and that's the way we usually play and coach. And they got to be smart, and understand the situation we're in going into playoffs, and I think they will be. But like, we're playing for 2 points. We're playing for our fans. Our families will be here. Like, guys want to win.
As we record this day, it's Maryland Day. This day in 1639, settlers first came to Maryland. Don't fact check that. But since you've been in Maryland, what's the biggest Maryland thing that you've immersed yourself with since being here?
It's hard to say. I think with everything it offers. I mean, you got the beaches, the mountains, you got the fishing, you got the stream fishing, the mountain fishing, the ocean fishing. Like, it offers so much, and I think that's the cool part, is that I like the outdoors. I like, you got the big city of DC if you want some of that. Big league sports. I just think the state's so underrated. I think it offers so many different things. I think it's another reason our players really enjoy being here, because they're away from DC, but they're close enough, and then when families come in, you got Annapolis down the road, Baltimore, obviously DC. You got your major league sports. As far as what I immersed myself in, I love the seafood for sure. I've always been a seafood guy, though, from the West Coast, and then just being on this side of it, it's kind of nice to have a good choice and good variety of seafood restaurants, and I love that part of it. But I think really just trying to enjoy all that the state has to offer, and it's got a lot. It's very underrated, and I think I've done a pretty good job of getting out to see the state, and enjoy the different towns, the history, which is cool. Which I'm kind of a history guy. I like seeing things from the past, and reading about it, and then going to see it, and it offers that as well. So it's a pretty cool state.
Head coach Clint Mylymok.